How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running a games under $15 sale. They're also running a November savings sale, which we gotta catch up and cover that a little bit more, but the games under $15 sale is ending in just a couple days, so I wanted to highlight some of the deals under $10. These are also going to include deals under $5, so we're just going to cover both of them in one video. A lot to go over, so we'll just get right into it and kick things off with Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration, 80% off for $6. I often talk about this game. I really enjoyed it, and it was my favorite Tomb Raider game, probably of all time. I mean, I've loved Tomb Raider since the 2013 reboot, but Rise of the Tomb Raider really improved upon the 2013 release while still having a pretty solid narrative, and I thought from a lot of aspects it was stronger than Shadow of the Tomb Raider. All three games are really good, but if you're looking to just play one, ROTR is a really good one. I would recommend to play all three sequentially, but if you just want to play one, you can do that as well. $6 for Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think that's a pretty solid deal. Alright, next up, we have Murdered Soul Suspect, which is 90% off for $2. Now, I bought this game right when it came out, and I want to say I got it for $50. I think I initially bought it on PC, and it was priced at $50 there, and then I got the PlayStation 4 version when it was severely discounted. But Murdered Soul Suspect is a game that got a pretty mixed reception when it initially came out. However, you know, initially, you're talking about spending $50 to $60 on the game, and it absolutely was not worth that. However, at $2, if you want a game that has a really cool ambiance to it, a mystery, detective-style storytelling style to it, it's a pretty solid game for $2. It's not a super lengthy game, so you can get out, probably complete it, you know, over the course of a couple days, and have a pretty good experience, and for $2, why not? Again, if you like mystery titles, I think you'll enjoy Murdered Soul Suspect quite a bit. For $2, again, I think it's a pretty solid pickup. Next up, we have Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, 70% off for $5.99. Now, most people that I talk to consider Valkyria Chronicles 1 their favorite among the franchise. It's usually VC1, or you're like one of the hardcore Valkyria Chronicles fan and you downloaded like the fan translation for Valkyria Chronicles 3, which was on PSP, and I probably would say that game is my favorite. Just had a really gritty story. Valkyria Chronicles 1, on the other hand, a very good game. This is a game that I can easily recommend to a lot of people that aren't a big fan of Japanese RPGs, that you could probably still really enjoy it. It's got a really solid tactics-based battle system. It's got a story that's just really an emotional war story that isn't too over the top, but it's pretty solid in its own right, and for $6, you're getting a lot of content for your dollar as well, and it's got a fantastic art style that has just aged really well. So $6 for Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, I would say, is a really good buy. Next up, we have Borderlands The Handsome Collection, which is 75% off for $9.99. This includes Borderlands 2, Borderlands a pre-sequel, and almost all of the DLC to the respective games. You're only missing Commander Lilith and the Fight for the Sanctuary. Not a big deal. You get Borderlands 2, you get Borderlands the pre-sequel, and you get a ton of DLC content. Borderlands 2, I think most people would agree, is the best game in the entire franchise. It's just a really well-done game. Mechanically, it's great. It's got that Borderlands gameplay done really well, and I would also say from a narrative and a comedy standpoint, Borderlands 2 hit with me a lot more than Borderlands 3 or Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And I just really liked the game from that aspect as well, a writing and a dialogue standpoint. Borderlands 1 was great, pre-sequel solid as well, and these games are super replayable, and if you don't have like a group of friends that you can jump into the game with, I wouldn't worry about that too much. I know Borderlands gets a rap of being very much a co-op focused title, but you can play the game solo and still have a great time. Like, I completed Borderlands 2 in particular multiple times with friends, but I also completed that game solo, so take that for what you will. $9.99 for both 2 and the pre-sequel, with so much DLC content, so much replayability. You're just gonna get really a disgusting amount of content for your dollar, to put it frankly, but $9.99 a good price on that. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, which is 67% off for $9.89. This is available in PlayStation Plus Extra as well if you're a subscriber to that. Assassin's Creed Rogue is probably one of the most underrated Assassin's Creed titles. Rogue's a really good game with one of the most compelling main characters out of an Assassin's Creed game. I wouldn't put Shay at the level of AC4's Edward or AC2's Ezio, but he was a really good character as well, and his character arc, I would say, was really well done over the course of one game. Has the naval combat that a lot of people liked and elements from AC4 that a lot of people liked. Story's pretty good, and overall, just a solid, well done Assassin's Creed title. So, you know, this one got lost in the shuffle because it saw a PS3 and 360 release when the PS4 and Xbox One were already out, so it kind of just like missed timing as far as platforms go. Ultimately got, you know, remastered on PS4, ported to PC, all that good stuff, and still a solid game. $9.89 I think is a really good price for that, for those of you that like the classic style Assassin's Creed. Next up, we have Titanfall 2, which is 80% off for $4. Titanfall 2 is a game that at this point, you're probably buying the game for the single-player campaign, and while I wouldn't say the single-player campaign is like absolutely blow away, it is really darn good. And when you talk to people about Titanfall 2, that's probably the element of the game that was most surprising to some people, because Titanfall 1 didn't even have a single-player component, but Titanfall 2 had a really good one with a variety of gameplay options, and the Titanfall gameplay is just pretty enjoyable in its own right, so having that in a campaign mode as well, it's not super lengthy. I'm not saying it's gonna be a campaign you complete multiple times, but it's pretty darn good and it's pretty darn enjoyable. And if you have a free weekend, hey, play through the Titanfall 2 campaign for $4. It's pretty solid. It is also available through EA Play, so you can play the game that way if you do want. Next up, we have Just Cause 3 XXL Edition, 85% off for $4.49. When this game initially came out back in December of 2015, it was an absolute abomination from a technical standpoint. Not only on consoles, but on PC as well, even on higher-end PCs. Thankfully, a lot of those issues have been remedied. It still has some issues when you have an over-the-top, open-world action game like Just Cause. There's bound to be, you know, some technical issues, but it's a lot better than what it was at launch, and Just Cause 3 is a really good game. If you just want to mentally check out of, like, an emotional narrative or anything like that, and you just want to, you know, zone out and have fun in an open world, Just Cause 3 offers you exactly that. It's over the top, it's high octane, it's chaotic as all hell. $4.49 for the XXL edition. That does include some additional content as well. I think that's a good buy. If you do want to get the base game, $3 for that definitely isn't bad either. So, yeah, you can decide on that. Next up, we have the Game Bakers' Furi, which is 70% off for $6. Man, I remember when this game initially came out. I want to say it was initially a PlayStation Plus title. Don't quote me on that, but Furi was a game a lot of people ended up checking out when it came out. I think a lot of people thought it was a little bit too challenging. It had a lot of action-heavy elements to it, but definitely some difficulty spikes as well seem to be the #1 complaint. I love the visual style to this game. I thought it was super stylish. I just think the game looks fantastic. Gameplay-wise, I think it has variety and depth to its gameplay. It is a little bit wacky in terms of it getting pretty challenging, but, you know, maybe some of you guys will find it relatively straightforward and you'll do a fine job with it. But check it out. I think $6 is a good price. There is another edition available that has the DLC. I believe it's $9.99 right now, so you can check that out as well if you do want. Next up, we have Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, which is 85% off for $9. I do prefer Ni no Kuni 1, and most people seem to prefer Ni no Kuni 1, but Ni no Kuni 2 is still pretty solid. It just adds a bit to the gameplay loop that I don't think everybody was super crazy about, but narratively, it's still a pretty solid game. The art style is obviously fantastic, and aesthetically it's great. From a soundtrack standpoint, I think it's pretty good as well. $9 for Ni no Kuni 2 if you're looking to get into a JRPG with quite a bit of content. This is a pretty solid one. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to Metal Slug Anthology, which is 70% off for $6 for non-Plus subscribers, $5 for Plus subscribers. Metal Slug is a game that back in the day, I played the hell out of on my PS2 because I had the Metal Slug Anthology on PS2. Obviously, run-and-gun action titles, very much a throwback, and I wouldn't say, you know, drop $20 on this Anthology collection, but if you were a fan of Metal Slug back in the day and you want to check it out again, $5 with your Plus subscription, I think that's a pretty solid deal, so I thought I would give that a mention as well. But that is going to do it for me. Again, links to all of these deals, as always, will be in the description box below. We got to get around to covering the November saving sale because that is really the bigger sale that's running right now. This is ending in a couple days. November saving sale is going to run for another week and a half or so, and I imagine that's going to pave the way for ultimately like the Thanksgiving sale or the Black Friday sale will start on the PlayStation Store, so be on the lookout for that. A lot of content coming as a part of that. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, links to all of these deals in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.